Hey everyone, welcome to Remap. My name is Jared, and today we're going to be taking a look at IGN's list of the top 100 games of all time. So, I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West, which has taken much longer than anticipated. I'm enjoying the side missions. I've also been playing the big Sumeru update in Genshin, so I haven't had anything to review in quite a while. So, I thought I'd fill this gap in reviews with something a little different. This is going to be a live discussion of this list, so you can get a better understanding of my tastes and opinions of different games and genres, see sort of what I've played holistically out of these, quote-unquote, greatest games ever. And I haven't pre-screened this list and written down my talking points, so after this intro, I'm just going to start scrolling through and just talk. And so it's going to be a lot different format than the usual review. It's going to be a lot less structured, but I'm interested to see how my opinion changes, 5, 6, 7, or even 10 years from now. And if you want to follow along, this is IGN's top 100 games of all time, posted the 31st of December, 2021. And as always, these are my opinions and mine alone. So, I'm going to get comfortable now and start scrolling through this list with you all. And it says early on, games in our top 100 have to measure up to a few key metrics. Sort of what they're going by is how great a game is, how fun it is to play, and how much the game reflects the best in its class. I don't really know how that is going to be included, but let's just get right into this. So, at 100, we have Borderlands 2, and honestly, I'm a little surprised it's this, I don't know if I want to say high or low. So when I'm going to say high on the list, as in the numbers high, as in I think it should be closer to 1. Because Borderlands 2, this is one of my favorite games of all time, one of my favorite shooters, just an incredible villain in Handsome Jack. And it was also one of my first experiences with online, trading forums, communicating with other players, that whole online space of trading legendary guns was a ton of fun. Next is Divinity Original Sin 2. This is a game I have never played. I have seen gameplay of it. It has been recommended to me, but I just have not been able to get into that format. Big D&D fan, so obviously I should enjoy this game, but it just hasn't happened for me. Next up, we have Final Fantasy VII. I really should play this game, and you're going to see, as we get through and see more JRPGs on this list, which I'm sure there will be plenty, you're going to notice I haven't played any JRPGs, besides Persona 5, which I know is going to be way, way lower on this list. I just haven't been able to get into JRPGs. One day, I know I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII, but just haven't gotten to it yet. Then we have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I'm a little surprised this is on here. I played the second Assassin's Creed, had a lot of fun with it, but I couldn't really get into the whole Assassin's Creed ecosystem. It really didn't interest me at its peak. Monkey Island 2. Oh, that's one of those old LucasArts games. Yeah, I have never played this. I don't think I'm ever going to. I don't think, any Gen Zers are going to be playing that anytime soon. And then we have Burnout 3. Never been able to get into racing games, unfortunately. I'm sure they're great. Not my forte. Fallout 2. Sort of before my time. League of Legends. I've spent some time in League of Legends. There was a good few months where I played it with my friends, and it's not bad. I mean, it's a great game at what it is, but I could make a joke about the community, but I'm not going to do that. Next up at 92, Mega Man 3. A lot of these old, I'm going to look up right now, when did Mega Man 3 come out? Because games from this, let's see, Capcom, 1990 on the NES. Yeah, so my first console was the original Xbox. So anything that came out before that generation, I will have only played probably just on an emulator. Or, if it's a Game Boy game that came out, I had a Game Boy, so I was able to play those. A lot of these old NES titles, I just have not had the opportunity to play them, nor the desire, per se, to play them. Just because it's a much different vibe if I have to sit down and play it on an emulator versus, the actual hardware on a nice CRT. Maybe that's a exercise for the future. Get a CRT, get an old NES, and review some of those games. Let's see. At 91, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is a game that came out right during that first kick of COVID in 2020, and I'm happy to say I sunk a solid month and a half into that game. I think I burned myself out of it just by playing so much of it so quickly, but great game. Tons of fun. Thief 2, never played. I'll be honest, don't really know what that is. SimCity 2000. The Sims games I've never been able to get into. The only city builder that I've played that I've actually been able to put more than 5 minutes into was Cities Skylines. That was a lot of fun, but genre haven't really played. And at 88 we have Inside. This is a game that looks very, very intriguing. I've seen lots of praise for this game. Haven't played it yet, but I'm sure one day I will. And then at 87 is Titanfall 2, which I'm a little surprised it's on this list, but I'm not going to complain. Titanfall 2 is an incredible game. I had a ton of fun playing the campaign. It's a great campaign you can describe it as a weekend campaign. It's something, you got a free weekend, you want to get into a game, you can get through that. It's a very short campaign. You can get through that whole thing in a weekend. It's just a lot of fun. Great game, a lot of fun. I'm a little sad that the studio is now exclusively doing Apex, I enjoy Apex, but I would love to see a Titanfall 3. Next, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Now, to continue the theme of genres I don't play, racing games, haven't been able to get into, and sports games, there is just no click with me with those. At 85 is Monster Hunter World. I know I have this game on Game Pass. I've thought about starting it, but I know it is very long and very complicated. So I haven't played it, and honestly, I don't know when I ever am. Next is Resident Evil 2, the remake. Now, I really need to play some Resident Evil games. I haven't up to this date, mainly because, in all honesty, they scared me. A younger me, I couldn't even play zombies in Call of Duty. Those things just scared the crap out of a younger me. So it was a genre I never got into at a young age as a teenager, and so it's something that, the game comes out and I'm never getting excited for it. I'm going to have to purposefully go out of my comfort zone to play these games, and I'll be interested to see which one I start with. I know there's a bunch of them, and I don't know how complicated the story is, but we'll see. System Shock 2. I know that's a much older game. I've heard that it's I don't know if trendsetter is the right word, but a game that set the bar for first-person games. Mortal Kombat 11. I did actually try a little bit of Mortal Kombat 11. I got it on Xbox, gave it a shot. Adding to the list of genres I don't really play: racing games, sports games, and fighting games. I just don't. I think it's just I don't have the patience to sit down and become, good at the game. Just playing through all these, trying to learn all the combos, playing through all these tutorials. I just haven't been able to get invested enough. And I think it's because I'm aware of how much time I would need to sink into it to get good at it. Maybe if my friends, exclusively played Mortal Kombat, I'd have a much bigger incentive, but obviously I have not. And at 81, I'm honestly a little pissed off, is Persona 5 Royal. In all honesty, I thought this game was a shoe-in for top 25. I don't know why the heck it's here at 81, and it is ruining my great mood I've had today. This is, if you've listened to my review, if you haven't, go check it out. Persona 5 Royal is my personal pick for greatest game of all time. It is, every aspect about that game is just incredible. Which is even more shocking because it is a JRPG in every sense of the word. Just a classic turn-based JRPG. So I don't know why I enjoy it. And I think a lot of Persona fans feel that same way. It just clicks, and it's just awesome. With a soundtrack that is so incredible. When they put it on Spotify, the singer, Lynn, she actually showed up on my Spotify Wrapped for my top artists of the year. I listened to that soundtrack so much. So they better have some good stuff coming up if they put P5R at 81. And then at 80, just sort of insult to injury, they put Dark Souls, which is a game that I've put a couple hours into the original Dark Souls, and I just got so fed up at the big, I don't know if he was an ox, a boar, big thing with horns, boss on the first bridge, that I gave up on that game. I quit on it. If you want to say, oh, you're bad because you couldn't get good, that's fine. I did not find any enjoyment. There was no joy and no happiness from me just dying over and over and over again. And I know the joy of the Dark Souls, the joy of the Souls games is that feeling of completing it. I will take the easy dopamine hit from a different game rather than toughing through a Souls game. And then at 79, okay, this list. So 79 is Fortnite. Now I understand why it's here. I'm actually going to read this thing. Over 10 million players amassed over the first 2 weeks. Epic quickly changed their Battle Royale to feed it. I understand how much this game impacted the genre and just video games as a whole. And I don't disagree with putting it on if you wanted to make a top 25 or top 50 most influential games of all time, Fortnite is easily on that, probably top 10. I enjoy Fortnite, played a lot with my friends. It is a awesome game to just get on some voice chat and spend a couple hours having fun. I have nothing bad to say about Fortnite. But this game, this list, is the best 100 games of all time. I don't think it's one of the best 100 games. Is it one of the most influential? Yes. Is it many people's favorite game? Yes. But putting this above, putting this right above Dark Souls and Persona 5 Royal is a little ridiculous in my opinion. Now, at 78, okay, we're getting a little older now. We have Fable 2. I never played the Fable games. I know there's a new one coming out hopefully soon. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what Xbox Studios are doing right now. They're, after Halo Infinite, I don't think I have any faith in them as a whole. But at 77, we have GoldenEye 007. I've seen so many, YouTube videos and commentary from people older than me that grew up loving this game, having a connection to it. I didn't grow up on the console, so it doesn't have the same allure to me. And at 76 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I am not shocked that this game is on here. It probably deserves to be on here. It's a ton of fun. I do think the spirits are kind of dumb. I was a much bigger fan of Brawl's campaign, but in terms of just polish, fit and finish, you can't argue with Smash Ultimate. It's a great game. Personally, I am a fan of the heavy units, Bowser, Ganon, Ridley, mainly so you can just ragdoll people that play, little old Pichu. And at 75, I'm scrolling. I'm seeing these next few games. I'm gonna run through these because these are all games I have not played. Spelunky 2, Return of the Obra Dinn, and Dota 2. 3 games I have not had the opportunity to play. I know I can say right now, I don't think I'm ever going to play Dota 2. Those MOBAs, if that is even the right word for Dota 2, not my style, not my vibe. And at 72, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Just an incredible racing game. Probably the cleanest, most polished, best one of them all. Tons of fun. I need to get the DLC and play some of the new courses, but it's just a lot of fun. Personally, I think Mount Wario is probably my favorite track. I love how they added these super long tracks where it's not laps. You just go through the track once. It added a lot more creativity to the series. But it's just a great game. At 71 is Donkey Kong. Have not played the original. Then we have Sims 3. Again, no Sims for me. Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. A little before my time. I'm actually going to click on this. I want to see when this came out. Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. So I'm actually curious. Is this an old release or is this... Yes, okay. So this was released 2005 for the Xbox. Okay, so this was a little too adult of a game for me at that age, but one day we might revisit it. Honestly, probably not. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I played Super Mario World on the Game Boy Advance a ton, but I never had the opportunity to play Yoshi's Island. Then we have Silent Hill 2. Again, fits into that horror niche of games that I did not want to play. And then GTA San Andreas. GTA was a franchise that I never got into as a teenager. And so I think subsequently I haven't been able to get into now. It just... Mainly, part of it was one of the few games I wasn't allowed to play. At a young age, I was able to play Gears of War, but GTA was a little off limits. But even now, it's more of just a casual play with friends kind of game. I don't really have a deep connection with it, which I think is because I didn't grow up playing it. Then we have XCOM 2. Oh, I'm trying to think. How many turn-based... What's the terminology for the XCOM games? Turn-based strategy? Because not RTS. I've played a lot more RTS games that I've enjoyed, like Halo Wars, rather than the turn-based ones like XCOM. I know I said Halo Wars. That is just an incredible RTS, and it's very disappointing to me that there aren't many RTSs around. They sort of just pumped out a few of them, and the genre's kind of dead. It's unfortunate. The genre's kind of dead. And then at 64, we have Control. I'm a little surprised Control is here. It is on my short list of games I need to play. I was a big fan of Quantum Break. You can go check out my review of Quantum Break, which is, great game by great studio. little surprised Control is here. That that's hyping it up a little bit. And then we have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. No complaints from me. That was one of my first introductions into modern first-person shooter. I think it was the introduction to modern first-person shooters for a lot of kids, just because it was Modern Warfare. That's a big franchise, tons of fun. And again, Modern Warfare, this one, MW2 and MW3, just some great campaigns that had a lot of replayability. Infinity Ward did a great job with those. Then we have Rise of the Tomb Raider. I played the first, I think, hour of Rise, and then just put it down for a time. It's not that it was bad, it just didn't have that spark that you're looking for a game when you pick it up. And then at 61, we have Batman Arkham City. I am surprised it's at 61. I thought it would be much lower, because this is just an absolutely incredible, timeless game with incredible voice acting, incredible villains. My man Luke Skywalker does just a perfect job in this game. Arkham City, I think, should be way closer to top 25. Like, this is a quintessential game. This is a must-play game. If you have not played the Arkham games, this is a must-play game. I'm going to scroll back up, because now that I think about it, I want to see what other games we've gone through so far that are must-play games. I'm going to try and be very strict with what I say is a must-play game. Arkham City, definitely a must-play game. Mario Kart 8, it's hard to call that a must-play, because I feel like everyone's played that, but you got to go play some Mario Kart. Persona 5 Royal, that's a must-play for sure. I think that's it. I'm not even going to put Titanfall on the same must-play level as Persona and Arkham City, just because it's such a influential, and more so than that, just great game. Then we have Dishonored 2. I got the Dishonored series recently. Haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I was more interested in it after playing Deathloop, which I know took a lot of inspiration from those games. Then at 59, we have The Witness, which I'll be honest, I have never heard of before. I'm skimming through this and it looks like a puzzle game. Yeah, no, that's a hard pass for me. Journey, visually striking. Haven't played it yet. Looking forward to playing it in the future. Uncharted 2. I didn't get a PlayStation until the end of the PS4 era. So the Uncharted games and pretty much all of the PlayStation exclusives were games I never had the chance to play until more recently, and haven't gotten to them just because there's so many games to play. Then we have Overwatch. A lot of fun. I got a lot of hours out of that. I'm a little surprised it's on here. It's got great multiplayer, great character, great cast, a lot of fun. Didn't really hold up long term. I feel like the game's kind of dead right now. Hopefully Overwatch 2 will inject some of that, life back into it. I was just really upset with how they changed the casual queue. I think that's the right terminology. I went to play it one day, and if you're playing casual, not ranked, you should be able to have a team of 5 tanks, 5 defensive characters, 5 offensive characters. It's casual. Do it at whatever the heck you want. But now there's different queues where if you want to play a tank, there's a tank queue, and let people play what they want in casual. Casual should be a 2-second queue, and that was just dumb. Then at 55, we have Apex Legends. I am surprised they're giving all this love to these modern battle royales, but personally, Apex Legends is my favorite out of all the battle royales. Fortnite, PUBG, Warzone, etc. big fan of Apex. I love the gunplay. The movement is especially incredible with some of the champions allowing you to jump around and fly around. Great game, great polished. Big fan. It's one of the few games where I've actively played a little bit of ranked, which is probably the biggest compliment I can give. Then we have Hollow Knight at 54. Visually striking game. Haven't had the chance to play it yet, but interests me. Games like, and I don't really want to put them in a box, but my brain just puts Hollow Knight and like Celeste and Ori in a similar, not Celeste, but Ori in a similar, vibe. That's a genre I need to play more of. Something I haven't been exposed to as much. Miss Pac-Man, little too arcade games were before my time. I have no interest in them. Counter-Strike 1.6, again, I had an Xbox. I wasn't going to be playing PC games. Left 4 Dead 2, I'm honestly very sad I didn't play this game at its height just because it just looks so much fun. Obviously nowadays I don't really have a reason to get into it, but at the time it it fell into the bucket of the game kind of scares me, so I'm not really going to play it. And then for right now, that is through 51 with Left 4 Dead 2. We're going to take a little break right here. And next episode, we're going to go through the rest of it from 50 to 1. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to come up. Like they already had Persona 5 Royal on here, so my expectations are going to be very low for the rest of this, but we will see. But thank you all so much for tuning in. You've been listening to Remap, the gaming podcast. My name is Jared, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.